Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital? Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for July 2nd through 5th, 2024. Why did I write 2025 in mine?
No. Do not get us ahead a year. I'm not ready.
No, I am definitely not. It must have just been because I was writing the 5.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So ever since I realized that I could be using my notes as kind of more like a blog on our website, I've been more intent. Obviously, I'm still going to miss things, but I have 7 pages.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we don't have much for Port Charles Pipeline. I think we had one email, but it was just asking us what we thought about Monday's episode and the article coming out about Natalia, which, I mean, we're going to discuss today. So,
right.
But did you see that Kate Mancini got engaged?
No.
I think it was July 3rd, and it was really cute. Her announcement picture was just her eating a sandwich.
Oh, that's cute.
I was like, oh, I like you. I haven't really paid attention to her personally, like the...
Right.
But I thought that was cute.
That is cute.
So congratulations.
Aww.
And one of our longest, oh my goodness gracious, hold it. Our buddy Max is turning 10 this week. Happy birthday, Max.
Oh my God. Happy birthday,
So
Max. Oh my God.
That means that we have been podcasting for half of Max's life.
That's insane.
For more than half of Max's life.
That's insane. I can't believe he's going to be 10.
I know. Well, when was the first time that we talked with him?
I don't know.
I'm going to look. Hold on. I'm going to look it up.
I think he was 6.
I think he might have been, but just think about it. I mean, I don't know how long they were listening before.
Right.
We talked with him. Oh, Max, we've been part of your life for half of it.
I don't like the double digits. I like to keep the babies.
Yeah. It's almost hard. Well, you still have you still have 2. So you have a tween and a teen.
Yes.
Yeah. When you drop the teen out of all of them, it kind of stinks. Why? Okay. I'm searching in the podcast for Max and it's just not coming up. There must be something that is always in our show notes that says Max, because just about every single episode is pulling up, and I don't know why. Max, if you know which episode you're on, let us know. You know how to get a hold of us.
Yeah, I think he was 6. That just sounds right to me. But I
think so. I think that you're right. We talked to his parents in 2022. We're due for a chat.
Yeah, we need a life update.
Yep, 6 years old. May 5th, 2021. Aww. I kind of almost want to re-release this one. It was join us as we interview our youngest fan yet, 6-year-old Max. Listen to how he got started making his own GH daily recaps, which now that he's older and his schedule is full, he has taken a temporary, what's that called? Sabbatical. Hiatus.
There you go. Well, their family is so busy. Like, they're always doing something. I want to be part of their family and go all the places they go.
It was inspired by James Patrick Stewart, plus his thoughts about Sasha and Brando, Michael and Willow, Gladys, Sonny, and more. And a plea for Emmy Rylan to come back. Which still has yet to happen.
Right.
Aww.
But maybe now that will be coming up.
Who the heck even knows anymore, though? All right. we're in the home stretch, guys. Port Charles 411 this week is part 9 of Lila. It is right after she passed, the reading of her will and the chaos that ensues.
Yes.
And I really think that is it for those. I have one thing that I will talk about when we get to the topic.
Okay.
I kind of Port Charles pipelined myself. So
alrighty.
We'll get there. You'll understand. So for Hulu headlines, I guess it's actually it's July 1st through 5th. 5th. What the heck are you doing, Shannon? Minus the 4th.
Minus the 4th, right. Yeah, how do you have 7 pages of notes on 4 days?
I'm trying to make a comprehensive...
I understand, but I'll be interested to see what you wrote, because I don't think I have 7 pages in my brain of what happened this week.
You want me to send it to you after? Okay. Here's the thing. I wrote it like I want to see when I'm doing the research.
Right.
So when we go back, I will already have part of the notes for these times.
Yes.
Maybe someday I will go back to the old notes and craft them into a blog. Okay, anyway. On Monday, Ava plays dirty. I am so confused by what they're doing with Ava right now.
I don't understand.
Jocelyn comforts Trina. Nina does some eavesdropping. Alexis makes a big move. And Jordan shares intel with Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just make every woman dumb on the show.
Yep.
On Tuesday, Ava tries to cover her tracks. Blaze is crushed. Sonny meets with Diane. Kristina and Alexis have a heart-to-heart. And Natalia is in the hot seat. Ooh, yeah. On Wednesday, Alexis is confrontational. Jocelyn gets upsetting news. Natalia confides in Sonny. Sasha provides perspective. And Maxie steps up for a friend. And then on Friday, Dante tries to talk Sonny down. Kristina unleashes her anger. Maxie and Brooklyn strategize. Trina and Jocelyn move into their new home. And Nina updates Drew.
Yes.
Where do you want to start?
I mean, I think just from the headlines even, what are they doing with Ava? I don't understand. It's like she's the one that's off her meds or something.
So Ava released the recording that she had of Natalia saying all those horrible things.
Right.
To Adrian DeWitt with the Invader.
Correct.
In retaliation because Kristina got told her she wasn't welcome to dinner at Pizzulo's.
See, that makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense, but it does. If her anger was towards someone other than Sonny, I would understand it a little bit more. But I don't even understand her motivation here. When Natalia and Sonny were talking, or maybe it was Dante and Sonny were talking. Anyway, Sonny said, oh, she released that because she was angry that I took Natalia to the wedding instead of taking her. And everyone was like, there's no way she could have showed up to that wedding. The Falconeri, it was him talking to Dante, because Dante was like, the Falconeris would have attacked her the second that she walked into the room for killing Connie. So there's no way that she could have gone to that. So I don't think that was her motivation. Even Ava has to understand that she could not go to that wedding. And
she didn't, though. Because remember, she was upset when he said, so I changed my mind. I can't do that.
But I still feel like she understood. Like, she may have been mad, but I still feel like she understood. That would have ruined their wedding day. It would have been about her being there then instead of about Chase and Brooklyn. And she doesn't have any beef with either one of them. So, okay, we'll let that go. Being jealous of Natalia, okay, that would be a reason why. But she ruined Blaze and Kristina more than she ruined Natalia. So I don't get it. And
she knows that would have happened. So she's also smart enough to not go after Sonny's children.
Right.
Regardless of age.
And I'm trying to prove in court that I'm the better parent. I want sole custody of my daughter, as I just went after Sonny's pregnant daughter. No, that's not going to help your court case.
Exactly. And she seemed, so we forgot to mention that Alexis quit the Invader on Monday, which that was great because she walked in and Drew and Nina were having their back and forth, whatever, their verbal foreplay. And Nina was like, you can't talk to me like that. Or because Alexis came in and was like, I need to talk to you. And she's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm your boss. And she's like, nope, that's exactly what it is. Bye. And she quit. So,
And Nina's all, you have a contract. And she's like, no, you should know what you're talking about before you tell people that they have contracts. I signed up under Sean and he didn't make me have a contract because we were friends.
yep. So then Ava went to Adrian. He already has, first of all, what happened to Schmidt? Wasn't this his role?
Right. It was his role, but then he got in trouble because of all the Sasha stuff. And this guy is supposed to be more known to everyone. So that's why he was getting the position.
And so that's the thing, though. So Ava is in that realm. Ava like knows this guy. She should know this guy's reputation.
Right.
So why is she so surprised at how much traction the story's getting? Because you saw the look of surprise on her face where she's like, oh crap. Because then she calls them and is like, you need to make sure that this doesn't come back to me. Men have killed for me for less.
Right.
You know, like what is she doing? I don't understand. And then, so I guess we kind of have to back it up before we get into all of the other. So they're trying to finalize at Deception. They're trying to finalize the contract with Blaze, and Natalia shows up and she's like, wait, this contract's wrong. And
again, this is like the 5th write-up that she is having issue with.
Right. And then as they're sitting there, Maxie's phone starts just ding, ding, dinging. And she's getting all snippy with her. And she's like, sorry, I have notifications for every time that Deception's mentioned in the news. Like something must have popped up.
And they're thinking it's good. Lucy's all like, the stock must be going through the roof.
Yeah. And sure enough, it is the story of Natalia basically cruelly not agreeing with her daughter's life.
Right.
And anyone in the LGBTQ plus community, and saying really, really harsh things. And the poor Blaze.
Yeah.
To, first of all, have to hear that from her own mother's mouth. But not only that, to hear it in that room.
Right.
You know, with other people. I mean, I know that she knows that she's supported there because Brooklyn has already asked her, like, Brooklyn mentioned it later.
Right.
She's said, you know, this would not hurt your career. It's not a bad thing. You know, it's,
right.
I understand your concerns, but it's not going to do what you think it's going to do.
Right. We're not back in the 70s, 80s, where 90s, where coming out is going to be a reason for your whole career to be ruined. Thank God the world has evolved since then.
But Natalia like doubles down.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry that you heard it that way. But yeah, those are my feelings. I was just raised differently than you. Like, that excuses all of it.
Well, she said that to Kristina later on. But like Blaze, she was not, like, Blaze told her, you just seriously threw my entire career and anything for me to do with music out the window.
Out the door. Yep.
And so Blaze left. And then Maxie tells Natalia that, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to work anything. No, okay, so wait. They said, let's get back to the contract. I think Lucy went and grabbed the contract because she's the one who tore it up. And she's like, yeah, let's continue negotiating the contract. And she tore it up.
Yes.
But then Maxie said something about, okay, see, let me refer to my book.
Maxie said something that made it sound like the contract was just done. And then Natalia tried to get snippy and was like, oh, so you're going to fire my daughter because she's come out now as a lesbian, blah, 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 blah. And Maxie was like, no. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we will do anything and everything that we can to support your daughter. And we're fine with whatever her lifestyle is. It's you. Our issue is with you. I don't know that we can have you as the momager that is out there saying these things. So we'll have to reevaluate our situation.
So what she said was that their relationship with Blaze changes and they can't have a face who is afraid to be gay and ashamed of their identity, which many of their associates and customer base, I think she threw customer base in there, share and are proud of. She told Natalia she needs to get with the program or kick rocks, which made it sound like, yeah, we want nothing to do with you, but we are going to support Blaze. And then Natalia said, my relationship with my daughter is none of your business. But then she said, if you do anything to hurt her, you'll have to deal with me. And it's like, but you just did all these things. They want to move forward and help her.
Right. They were just basically saying that Blaze had to choose a side. If Blaze was going to continue following what her mother said and act like that's not true, then she couldn't be the face of deception, because they're not trying to lie to their customer base. And she needs to be proud of who she is, which is what they've been telling her all along.
Right. And that's what Maxie and Brooklyn talked about the next day, I guess, or later that day. That, by the way, thank God they're dressing Maxie better. And she is so cute. And she is owning that role. Like she is owning that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so it was actually all of them right after Natalia left is when they started to brainstorm. And Lois is like, maybe I should step back a little bit so that, it doesn't seem like we're business as usual, that we are figuring things out. And then everyone's like, no, we really should continue because we can't afford another issue.
Right.
And then, they're all talking about how they have nothing to hide behind and they have nothing to be embarrassed about. And then Nina comes because she's reading the article and she's like, so you guys have a 2-page ad in Crimson coming out in 2 days, like this week.
Right.
What do you want to do? And they're all, Lucy offers to give an interview about the history of deception. And Maxie's like, or we could just give a transcript of your home and heart appearance where it was me. And then Maxie came up with a wonderful idea. What was it? No one cancels love.
Yes.
And it's just going to be a simple black and white ad. And that's how they're handling it. And I was like, that's really, really good. Go, Maxie.
Yes.
But then it felt like Nina took credit for that later on when she was telling Drew that she had to delay the issue.
Right. She was like, I went to the girls and was like, we just can't put this out like this. And so we decided, no, you would have run it if they told you to. Like, it was considerate of her to go to them and ask, like, hey, do you have something real quick to sub in? Because I can't delay production too long, but I can push it back a day. But it was not like the wonderful way that they presented it was not Nina's idea. Right.
And in the meantime, Blaze went immediately to Kristina, and Kristina had, so Alexis, hold it. This is the thing, like this was the thread that put all of it together, because at one point, Sonny had called Diane and was asking her to help with getting custody of Avery. And Diane's like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen because you're forgetting Avery can talk now.
Right.
And, she loves her mom. In short, like that's the in short of it.
Right. She was like, for every bad thing you're going to bring up about Ava has a bad thing to bring up about you. And when they ask Avery what her decision is, she's going to be like, yeah, I love both my parents.
I did love when he said, I need to talk to you about my daughter. And she's like, you have a lot of them. Be more specific. But then Diane gets the notification and steps out and reads it and then calls Alexis and is like, what the heck are you doing? So Alexis had no idea of the article being released. And because she was at Kristina's talking to Kristina, going over the resumes of people to cover for her while she's recovering from giving birth. Diane called Alexis, and then Alexis sees it and then shows it to Kristina. And that's when Diane finds out that Alexis quit the Invader. So she had nothing to do with it. And then I didn't think about this one, it's not that I didn't think about how it would affect Kristina, but I didn't realize that it would potentially cancel her. And she was like, I'm not going to be allowed in the doors of my own center. Right. And the more that they talked about it, I started to understand more why that was her concern.
And Alexis went and confronted the new editor. What's his name?
DeWitt.
Thank you. DeWitt. And
his name is Adrian DeWitt, but they just keep calling him DeWitt.
DeWitt. Okay. And so he was like, too bad you don't have a law license. You don't know anything. And she's like, actually, I do have my law license. That's how you are now the editor. And you made a big mistake because people have a right to privacy or a idea that they're having private conversations that aren't recorded. And he's like, yeah, well, in New York, only one person has to know. And she's like, yeah, except for that works with celebrities, but Blaze's mom is not a celebrity. And that's where you messed up. If it would have been a conversation with Blaze, then you could use that, but nope. So yeah, and they're gonna have it out.
And he broke down and told her
name like nothing.
So quickly. Twice.
Yeah.
Because he later did it Deception or Crimson.
Right.
Deception because Nina was there. But also, while Diane was talking to Alexis is when Sonny found an article of all the commenters saying that there was protesters against Kristina having anything to do with her center because they said that she's an internal homophobe for dating someone that's in the closet.
Yes.
That was what the reasoning behind that, I guess. That, yeah. But yeah, like DeWitt gives up Ava super quick. And then Alexis goes and talks to Ava and is like, we need to have a conversation that's not recorded.
I love that mind game. Did I record it? Did I not record it? I guess you'll never know.
Yeah.
And she says again about Ava killing Connie, and Ava's like, I've never killed anyone. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
But she's just, Ava is losing it. And I just don't understand why. Like, she may have thought that Sonny and her were going to get back together, and she may be upset that that's not happening, but she's always put Avery first. So this idea of taking Avery away from her dad is absurd. And she has always realized that Sonny cares about his kids more than anything in the world. So going against something or causing something that's going to hurt Kristina is just absurd. And then she has always used Trina as just her friend and person that works at the art gallery. And then she goes to Trina this week and is like, tell me everything that you know. And poor Trina's like, what are you doing? You're ruining our whole relationship. That's not how this is supposed to be.
Yep.
So Alexis was just like the icing on the cake. I guess Trina happened after that, but Alexis was just the icing on the cake with her like, let me illustrate to you how wrong it is to record people without their knowledge and then release it. And don't you realize that everyone's going to find out that it is you? And Ava's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Who's DeWitt? I've never met him. And Alexis is like, yeah, except for he gave up your name in like 5 seconds. So you should know who you're talking to and who you're trusting before you just let this information out.
Yeah, it was just...
Like I said, it feels like Ava's the one that's off her meds. Like Ava's acting like Sonny. Sonny is acting like he's back to normal, but we never saw his pills get refilled with the correct dosage.
Oh.
And then it's Ava who
He would have had a refill by now.
Absolutely.
Because even if, would he have, hold it, unless he has the 3-month supply.
Well, yeah, if he has the 3-month supply, he wouldn't have had a refill, but he seems like he's on the right dosage again, other than talking to Dante. His conversation with Dante was off. But the way that he talked to Ava, like he didn't fly off the handle. He didn't like threaten her physically or whatever. And even Natalia, I know he doesn't know her as well, but Sonny off his meds would jump to conclusions way faster. And She wouldn't have even made it to sit down and explain her position if he was off his meds.
And there is zero way he would have had... I'm confused by his response to Natalia.
Right?
So she goes to see him, and good for her. Well, does she know yet? She doesn't know yet, right? She still doesn't know his reputation.
I still don't know how she doesn't, but yes, you're correct.
But as far as we know, she is unaware of Sonny Corinthos, the mob boss. She thinks he's just a coffee importer that can cook.
Right, because she can read articles from the Invader, but she doesn't know how to Google Sonny Corinthos and see what he's been up to in the past.
Yeah. Well, because she was trying to figure out, she couldn't remember who she had that conversation with. And then she remembered, we see her sitting in her car running through it. And then you see the light bulb moment. And then that's when we see her go to Sonny. And she's like, I put 2 and 2 together. You just told me to stay away from Ava. And I had previously had this conversation with her when I brought you a bottle of scotch. And he's like, yeah, you're the one that said these horrible things, but Ava's the one that put it out there.
But you're the one that said the horrible things.
Right. And she said, despite everything, she likes Kristina and she thinks that she's lovely. And he's like, well, just make sure you treat my daughter with respect. Everything that she did was a complete disrespect to her own daughter and his daughter. And it doesn't matter. It does matter that Ava did it, obviously, but it doesn't matter that Ava did it if that's how she feels and if that's what she's saying behind the scenes and giving her daughter and her girlfriend such a hard time.
Exactly. If you have controversial ideas on something, you may discuss those with your bestest friend or your spouse, but you don't like go to a pool party and be like, hey, let's talk politics or whatever.
Right. Oh, goodness no.
So It just makes no sense. Why would Natalia sit down with this woman who she already should have sensed, because we could all see that anytime she was around, Ava was like, okay, you can leave now. We don't need you here. Like, bye, see ya. I got Sonny. Why would she sit down and have that conversation unless she didn't feel like it was controversial thoughts and like the whole room would agree with her? And
Right.
at that point, then it should be able to be out there. Like, I'm not saying that what Ava did was not wrong, because it obviously was. But
Right.
if you speak freely like that with someone that is not your best friend, then
Right.
yeah, like
It very easily also could have been little Avery overhearing and repeating it back.
right.
Which thankfully she didn't, because that would just be way too confusing. But like Kristina and Alexis talked about, like their biggest issue, not their only biggest issue, but the thing is, Natalia robbed Blaze of a very private and personal decision on how and when to come out. And, she's talked about it on the show. Like my auntie Erica, we've talked about when she finally came out, and how much she struggled with how to and all that. I mean, that's something that Blaze was absolutely robbed of. However, that's also but that's something that Brooklyn and Maxie really, really talked about, because she was really hoping that Natalia would step back and say, you know what, this is for my daughter. You're right. She needs to have, like, this is her. She's also she's not very old. She's not 18.
Right. Exactly.
And again, we talked about Brooklyn had already spoken with her about coming out. And that's when Blaze showed up and started talking to them. She apologized, first of all, for her mom and how her decision to stay closeted is now like negatively impacting them. And they had already all previously agreed that they were supporting whatever Blaze needed,
Right.
I was so happy that, they said that they support her no matter what. Maxie did suggest that she take a pause, though. Well, and then she reminds her of how many times Lucy's been able to make a comeback miraculously.
Yes.
And Maxie says that we live for payback isn't the official Deception motto, but low-key it really is. But then she didn't even get a personal phone call. Natalia didn't even get a personal phone call. The label dropped her.
Right. That was crazy.
Brooklyn tells Maxie she will not let Blaze lose her chance to make it as a singer.
Well, I feel like that's a situation. Doesn't there have to be a contract? Like with her and the label? Can they really just drop her because of something like that? That's not even really scandal with her. That's scandal with her mom.
Right. I mean, but that's the guilty by association. But are we ready for my new storyline?
Sure.
I actually tweeted it, which I have never done. Like, we don't really tweet our personal opinions. Like, we tweet the show, we share things. We're like, oh, wasn't this cute? But we don't get involved in deep storyline discussion online.
Right.
I truly, truly, truly believe this is the first time that I have ever, on our page, tweeted something like this. And it's a good one. It is such a good one. Dear General Hospital powers that be. Oh, and I tagged them, which I am not really a fan of tagging
but I love it.
main accounts. But this one, I feel like it's worth it. You need to bring back Ricky Martin. We have talked on our show about how it would be great to have Miguel come back and help Blaze, sharing his own experiences with having to hide who he is. Yes, that was not Miguel's original story, but this is one of the few times that it would be great to change the backstory to support what the actor's life experience has been. Here's how it could play out. Oh, I missed a step. First, well, Lois is already aware of what's going on, but Brooklyn's going to have to tell Lois that Blaze was dropped, or right. Lois is going to find out in the meantime. I left out Brooklyn, so sorry. Lois is going to be talking to Brenda about what happened with Blaze. Brenda's going to call Miguel. Miguel comes to Port Charles to support Blaze and also gets her on his label. In the meantime, because we already know that he's been successful.
Right.
In the meantime, Kristina will not have been outed from her organization. Then, as part of the grand opening, they have a concert where Miguel and Blaze are performing. Ooh. And it ends with Blaze singing, "She's All I Ever Had" to Kristina.
Aww. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I feel like that's the best one I've done.
I love it.
Me too, obviously, but
I don't think they even really have to rewrite Miguel's backstory too much, because we know from back then that being out was not accepted, and that's why people had to hide their relationships. But we also know that there are lots of gay men who have formed loving relationships with women, not based on what happens in the bedroom, but based on intense feelings of kindness and friendship and love. And
they think that this is what they're supposed to be doing because they're not allowed to be doing what. Yeah.
Yes. So like his relationship with Lily and him thinking that Brenda is attractive or whatever are really the only parts of the story that would be coming into question with this. But you could totally say like he loved Lily. Lily could have known and been like, yes, we'll be together anyway because I understand where you're coming from and we have this strong, amazing friendship and whatever. She could have even said like, I want a baby, and him accommodated that because he knew that's what he was quote unquote supposed to do. And there you go. And I don't care what your sexual orientation is. You can look at someone of the same sex or opposite sex and think they're attractive and not want to do things with them in the bedroom. So
I thought that he and Brenda did have a sexual relationship.
I don't know if they did or not. I know they dated, but I don't know if we ever saw them hook up on screen or if it was just alluded to, but I just can't remember. Obviously it didn't make that much of an impression because I don't remember. You asked me about Karen and Jagger, I can tell you the dates, but Miguel and Brenda, I'm not sure, but again, like they were really good friends. Like if
and that's why I'm saying that she stayed in contact with him. She stayed in touch with him, and and same thing. And actually, oh my gosh, that would go in line with Vanessa Marcel because I believe, my Instagram's not pulling up right now. Speaking of which, on my phone, my Instagram feed has been the same thing for like most of the week. And the top post is Sean Kanan wishing Steve Burton happy birthday. And it's a picture of them from the 90s with like their chests like exposed. And it's kind of weird to look at that now. Because yes, I remember looking at that when I was a teenager and that's what I was supposed to be. Woo! But now it's like, oh my gosh, you were my son's age when you were in that photo.
But you were your son's age when you were wooing over him. So
Right. So Vanessa Marcel's son came out.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that would also tie in with Brenda.
Oh my gosh, that would be perfect.
This has to be how it's written.
It would be beautiful.
Hopefully somebody else already thought about this in the writer's room because the center's supposed to be opening soon and they tape 6 weeks out.
Right.
So
they're like ready for Kristina to have that baby. Her belly pop.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax cup.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Well, I'm surprised that when she went over to talk to Natalia that she did not.
Yep. I thought the same thing.
So she and Blaze should we be going back and forth between calling her Allie whenever it's her and Kristina and Blaze when we're talking about her career?
I guess so, but I feel like we're going to mess that up here and there just because everyone should know they're the same person.
So she tells her that she owed them, like she owes the public absolutely no obligation to come out, no obligation to even share if she's dating anybody, regardless of gender. She doesn't owe them anything other than great music. Like that's all that she owes her music fans. And she tells her to quit reading the comments. And then we saw Sasha came over and
I loved that.
That was really, really kind. I thought that was really sweet. And I love the fact that she followed up her experience with, I'm not saying this is the same thing, but I'm just saying I had to go through a very public issue 3 times. And here's how bad it can be, but then also they're going to go away just as quickly as they came in. But then was she still there when Nina stopped by and told them that Ava was the one who released the recording? Because Nina had found out previously, because Adrian stopped by Deception thinking that they were going to applaud him for increasing their visibility. He's already getting booked on like TMZ and stuff. And Nina threatened to fire him if he didn't say. And so then he said Ava, and she fired him anyway. Good for her. But then Maxie was like, no, we need to keep him on because now he knows you will 100% fire him. So he will have to be obedient to whatever we need.
Yes. Yeah, so Sasha was still there whenever Nina went to talk to Kristina because she was shocked that she was there. Not shocked like you know what I mean? Like whenever she opened the door, she was like, oh, Sasha, you're here too. And she was like, yeah, just trying to give them some advice on being humiliated in the press.
Right. But then after all that, Kristina goes over to Natalia and she reminds her that she is her mother and that she is not showing her unconditional love. This is where, like, Natalia, it's not like she doesn't have the words. Like, It's not like we're seeing her respond to, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Right.
She's like, should I order you some room service so that you can have the energy to continue this? Or are you going to go now?
Right. She was just so ridiculous. Like, her mindset is just absurd.
But this is where you were talking about earlier that she mentioned the thing about growing up and being told that gay people are just confused and things like that.
But I wasn't. Okay, so I was offended for everyone by those comments because, like, we grew up in that same time and then you just learn to evolve with time.
But we also did not, we grew up in this country and I don't think Natalia did. And she has a different ethnic background than us.
That could be part of it. I was thinking.
So I don't know. I'm not saying that is, but I'm just saying, like, she does have completely different life experiences than us in Southwestern Pennsylvania.
Correct. But that's not even, in that moment, that wasn't what offended me the most. It was the way she was talking to Kristina about being a surrogate. Like, she was putting her down. I have loved them forever. You're just having this baby.
Right. And that's the thing, though, is that she's been told that Kristina's a surrogate before.
Right.
Because she made it sound like, again, that Kristina was just having a baby just to have a baby.
Right. But then she also made a comment about passing the baby off. Like, like this was a stray kitten that Kristina found and is like, here, anybody want this? Like, she went through medical procedures and testing and all of this stuff to give her sister this gift. And not that any surrogate just gives the baby away like, oh, here's a free kitten. But Kristina is in even a more complex situation where she's going to have to witness this baby growing up as her niece or nephew.
Yeah.
She obviously did not do this like on a whim, like this would be fun to do today. And she, even if that was her initial thought, she's obviously learned and grown through this process. And she obviously cares about the baby enough that, you don't see her out drinking all the time. You don't see her out doing drugs. You don't see her whatever. Like, she's doing everything. So how can Natalia even begin to be like, oh, I loved my babies from the second that I got pregnant, and you're just like growing this baby and handing it over to first come, first serve. That's ridiculous. Right.
And I'm so thankful that we didn't talk about this, that earlier in the week, or before everything blew up, Kristina was able to have that kind of breakdown with Alexis about, I understand, like, I intellectually understand this is not my baby. Like, I'm like, stop worrying that I am. She's like, but my body doesn't know that. And my hormones, like, and she, like you said, she's going to love this baby. And I feel like even if you don't have a genetic attachment, I'm sure surrogates get attached. I'm sure that they love the baby. I mean, the entire thing that they are doing is a love.
Right. You can't forget what you've gone through. Like, I've talked before about my niece that's been a surrogate. She was a surrogate for a set of twins that are 1.5 now, and she's pregnant again halfway through with a single pregnancy for another couple. And like, she posts all the time. Like, I only have 2 kids, but my body has had or is having its 5th one. And these are the stresses and these are the cool things. And like, it's still so neat to feel the baby move and to know that like everything's progressing the way it's supposed to be and blah, 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 blah. So it's not like Kristina is just going to hand this baby over, whether it was to Molly or to a stranger, and be like, okay, well, that never happened now. Like, it's over and done with. Let's move on and do something else. I don't, it's just was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
That I don't know how anyone who's been pregnant and been a mother could speak to someone about surrogacy like that.
Right.
So it's just making me not like Natalia on so many levels, because not being understanding of her daughter's sexual orientation is understandable. Again, from how we were raised back then, things have changed, and you do have to like take time to digest that and get right in the head with it. But the surrogacy thing, yeah, like you're just insulting everyone for no reason.
Right. There was a period of time where I thought, okay, so when Kristina confronted her about the flightiness and everything, she goes, you weren't talking about Blaze. And she said, no. And so I thought she was going to say, someone I know, someone in my family. And she's like, you were talking about me. And Natalia was like, that was
right.
Well, yep. And that's what started the whole
baby
thing.
Conversation.
And Kristina reminded her, she's like, yeah, you packed a lot of homophobia in a very short amount of time. Like, if you're having this conversation with one person, what are you saying to others? And,
right.
But there was a moment when she was talking about how she was raised and how she was raised to think that being gay meant that you were confused if you thought that you were gay. I thought she was going to say, it's something that I have personally struggled with.
Right. Right. Or my best friend or something, like anything to give us.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
or
nothing
that family member or that family member who is.
Right. Right. If she would have said, like, I feel bad that we pushed that family member out and weren't given time to talk and understand or whatever. But instead it's just like, I don't understand it, so it's wrong, and that's it. And
right. And she's very clear. She goes, what did she say? She said something about, I'm sorry, I'm not accepting this quick enough. And Kristina was like, it's not that you're not accepting it quick enough. Hold it. Let me find it. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it. She said that she's a bigot because of herself and that she's hurting her daughter because of it. But there was something she said about how, like, I'm sorry that I'm not accepting quick, like, that I'm not getting there yet. And it's not that you're just not getting there. It's you're not even trying.
Right.
You know, it's not, you're not even, there's still some times where like I'll ask my off stuff because I'm like, so, you know, what's the right way?
Right.
You know, and that's learning. Or like, hey, I saw this, like, what can you explain to me what that means?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. It's like people and their pronouns. Like I have said 100,000 times to all of my kids' friends, I don't mean to disrespect what you're saying your pronouns are, but I was raised where it's him or her, and that's like it. And so at certain times when I'm talking to you or about you, I will most likely still use him or her. And I'm trying to make the effort. I'm trying to be better, but you also have to make the effort too and see that that's not the way that we were raised. And so like
especially if you correct yourself right away. I mean, it's
exactly. Yeah. And so, yeah, if Natalia would have been like, you know, if they were throwing a hissy fit because she used the wrong pronoun in a conversation, you could say, okay, they're overreacting, have that same compassion and understanding that like we're both coming from different sides, but we're trying to get to the same place. But Natalia just keeps using the same excuse. Like, that's not how I was raised. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get it, but I love my daughter. And Kristina is saying, you can't love your daughter if you're not truly trying to understand all parts of her. Yep. And at least supporting it, even if you don't understand.
Yep. And when Kristina went to leave, she was like, tell Allie I love her. And she said that she does not, no one needs the kind of love that she has. And she's going to make sure that Allie doesn't need her again for anything.
Yep.
And then Natalia goes to Sonny, or has she already been to Sonny by then?
I think she'd already been to Sonny by then.
Because then Alexis showed up and wanted to discuss the situation and was surprised to see Natalia there in one piece.
Right. Alexis had the same look on her face that we did whenever we saw it. Like, what? Why is Sonny entertaining her?
This is where it was. She regrets the girls heard what she said, but she can't help how she feels. And Alexis suggested that she open her mind, and Sonny reminds, and then Sonny gets defensive of Natalia.
Yep.
That's... He told Alexis, this is my guest. No, actually, she just came to you. I mean, yeah, you still welcomed her.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that she's your guest, but I'm the mother of your daughter that this woman just hurt.
Right.
So I think I'm a little more important.
But then Alexis tells him that she plans to sue Ava, which Ava is already well aware of. And then Scott went to see Ava. Well, because Lucy threatened Scott and said, "You're not going to get any more, you know what?"
Yep.
And Maxie's like, "Get out of my office now." Well, but then she also, no, that was Nina told DeWitt that they don't make designer shoes in cement. Because that was in response to his protest about being kept on at their bidding.
Yes.
Lucy told Scott that he needs to stop representing Ava. And then you hear Maxie sideline conversation to Lois that, oh yeah, by the way, Ava's suing for custody of Sonny. And
Avery.
Avery. Sorry, what did I just say?
You said she's suing for custody of Sonny instead of against Sonny.
Against Sonny. And Lucy's like, "I told you that in confidence." And she's like, "Yeah, probably like Ava told her attorney."
Right, exactly.
But so Scott went to Ava and told him that unless Sonny kills someone on camera in front of everyone, she's screwed.
Yep.
I did like how everything, like almost everybody was really tied together this week. There was a couple things outside of it, but this seems to really be the big storyline.
Right.
Trying to think. Oh yeah. So then Dante went to check in with Sonny, and this is what you started to refer to earlier with,
this was the only point it seemed like Sonny was off his meds when he's confiding in Dante about, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill Ava or do whatever I have to do to keep custody." And Dante's like, "Oh, okay, take a step back. Like, I know you're unhappy and you have to go to court for custody, but let's not say we're going to do anything in that tone to your son that's a cop." And Sonny's just like, "Well, then just get out of here. Like, we don't even need to talk. We don't even need to whatever."
Right. He
and
said
Dante's
Detective Falconeri, or what did he say? He said, you told me a long time ago that I would not fit in your law and order life. So you can just leave.
Right. And
then Dante's like, "So I just got shot again and just had to fight for my life again. And he's like, "No, I'm your son. Unfortunately, I love you." And then he said something about how, it probably felt nice where after all the stuff that happened with Carly and then Nina, that, Ava was there and Avery was there. And, it felt nice having a little family. And he's like, "The Jeromes are not my family. They've killed my family." And
Dante's like, exactly.
Oh, but then when Sonny said that all Kristina got was his mistakes, like that's the only thing that she's inherited. But then Dante's trying to reason with him and is like, "But if you hurt Ava, that is going to hurt Avery. Like, do you understand that?" But I don't know. Dante told him that if he lashes out at Ava, he's going to slash his own throat.
Right. But that was like pretty much where that conversation just ended. It was like,
yeah,
agree to disagree. And then the other thing was Jordan trying to have her time by the pool, and in comes Curtis talking like they're a couple. Like, that was ridiculous, I thought. I know how you love your strawberry daiquiris, and you're trying to have some pool time and ball. And I was like, what are you doing? Stop it. Like, yes, you have a past, but you're being a little too familiar here now that you've moved on to someone else.
I felt uncomfortable when my ex's favorite baseball player passed away. And I asked, I know he was okay, but I was like, "I'm really sorry, that."
Right.
Like, that felt awkward because I'm like, that's a very personal thing, or it's anytime, sometimes something might pop up we were 16 when we met. So we worked together, like we were kids.
Right.
And there's been times where it's like, "Oh, I saw so-and-so, they say hi," whatever. But before Curtis even got there, Drew filled her in. Oh, first of all, his name is now officially changed. He is now officially Quartermain.
Yeah.
We hear her, he's like, "I need to enjoy my last few days before, all of a sudden the media is going to be hounding me because I'm announcing." And he's going to have to get up so much earlier to do his laps. He is so conceited right now.
Right.
I guess that is politicians, but I'm not saying politicians. I'm not saying that politicians are conceited. I'm saying that they do. He's becoming a more prominent figure, but he is already a public figure.
Right.
At least that's how I feel we're supposed to be.
Right.
So especially after what just happened with the whole trial and everything.
Yes.
So, But I mean, I guess he's just expecting his public profile to kick it up a notch. I mean, Andy's a Quartermain. I mean, we know some of the extremely wealthy, prominent families in the area, what their people look like, what their family members look like. But then we just hear Jordan go, I am just so thrilled for you.
Right.
And
she never questions it at all. The whole platform that you projected to the congressman was my ideas. And she's like, well, you're still going to be involved in that project, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to push for it, blah, blah, blah. But never says, like, yeah, I already presented it to the congressman. Like, she was there. I presented it to the congressman. And that's part of what I'm going to be speaking on and whatever. I just stole all your ideas to sound like I was this wonderfully educated man who's going to build up all this property.
Yeah.
She's like, you have my vote. What?
Well, and then you'll get so many more if you bring Scout with you while you're campaigning. Because that smile, I'm like, that is not why you should vote.
Mm-mm.
That should have zero weight on it. I'm sorry, if your vote gets changed because, well, that one has a cute kid and that one doesn't, we got some bigger problems here.
Right.
But like, she's telling him to basically use his child. And then Curtis is like, well, if I wasn't already voting for you, I would once Scout was on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
The girl wants to be a swimmer. She doesn't want to be, I don't know. I am not stupid. I do understand that. I mean, FDR sat in his wheelchair with a huge cape around him to hide it because he knew that he probably would not be voted in if people saw a president with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
But it should have nothing to do with what their kids look like.
Mm-mm.
It shouldn't have anything to do with what they look like either, but we all know that that's not necessarily always the case too. But yeah, that just threw me. And then Curtis and Drew did their laps, and Drew said that he's going to officially announce at Quartermain's 4th of July picnic.
Right.
Oh, she was reading the book that I could not read the title of, The Summer That I Went Away. That was the book that Alexis was reading that I couldn't read the title of. It's not a real book.
Okay.
But then Nina came over and was like, oh, you enjoying The View? And she's like, I could use a few ex-husbands in there, or I could use less ex-husbands in it.
Right.
But then that's where we saw Nina tell Drew, about the Crimson thing. And he's like, I'm really impressed with the compassion that you showed.
I'm over it already. I'm over his campaign already.
I know. I do not want to. Oh, my goodness. It's only July. You know that they're going to wait until November.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be the longest 4 months ever. Oh, also earlier in the week, Jordan had offered, she had stopped by originally to talk to him about how she just got back from like a convention or something for mayors. And so because she's helping out Laura and everything, but she's offering to help him win against Chelsea Grimes. So we already know that there's going to be a new cast member.
Yes.
The only other thing is Carly told Joss about, well, no, hold it, back up. Because when Trina was talking to Joss about how this is the worst I've ever seen Ava, Avery was there, and what was it? They were at the pool.
Yeah, she stopped.
She said Gio to get Avery some ice cream so that she could talk to Sonny about. She's talking to Sonny about what was happening.
Yeah,
yes, because she said that the only reason that Gio isn't going to like you is because of something that you do, and she regrets that she had anything to do with opening Kristina's eyes to him.
Right.
But then, even before all that, Sonny asked her not to say anything because Gio had told him, oh yeah, I moved into Quartermain's and so's Joss and Trina. And then we saw Carly helping Joss unpack. She gets a phone call from Diane. And I know you can understand this feeling the second she said it. And she's like, I hate the fact that you're not a baby anymore. And I have to tell you this because there's some things that are adult things. And even though they are adults, it's really none of their business. But if you're going to go to jail, I guess that's probably something that should be disclosed. And she told Joss why Jason stayed away for so long, that Agent Cates basically had him under his thumb, I guess, and that the only way that he could possibly be relieved is if she turns herself in, or she comes up with something. And when she was like, well, what do they have on you? And she's like, so remember when Sonny was in Nixon Falls? So I kind of pretended to be the head of the mob or the organization. And I said that I was in charge. And Joss is like, what?
Right. You did not actually say that out loud, Mom. She's like, yeah.
I did. But she's like, but the family would have been at risk. So but Joss agrees with Jason. And she's like, if you do this, you are going to undo everything that he spent 2 years away from. And Carly's like, yeah, I know, but I don't care. I'm just going to figure it out anyway.
Yeah. But this was an instance, Carly said that in a room full of people that she thought she could trust, not because they were her friends, but because they were equally as bad as her.
It was the reasonable expectation of privacy.
Exactly. And that makes sense in that scenario because they're all doing things they don't want the feds to know about, as opposed to Natalia, who's just like, let me sit here and spill all my ideas to this woman I've met 3 times, and it's already apparent she doesn't like me.
I just want them to say who turned in that wire. And I hope they could just really break it down. We don't need a whole story. We just need to be told it was Lee, Ms. Wu's guy, who we already knew
was a bad guy. Yep.
Right. We already knew that he was a traitor. So let's just pin it on Lee and move on.
Yes, exactly.
But then when Joss and Trina were still unpacking, like Dex, I really liked all their interactions this week. It was Dex has obviously had more life experience than them.
Yes.
And he's kind of giving them a hard time. He's like, I literally moved with a backpack for years.
Right.
And
right.
they're like, nope, we need our books. And then he and Joss went to go get something like tools or more boxes or whatever. And Trina found a book that Spencer had given her just as Gio walked up. And I loved the conversation that they had. You know, Trina shared about Spencer and then he shared about his mom and how she was his first teacher and a violinist and a great mom, you know, and it was really, I thought that was a really nice exchange for them to have, because that's the thing that I don't understand. I understand that Oscar died differently, but you think that Joss and Trina would be able to talk about that more just on the...
I don't know. I feel like there's a difference there because
100%.
Joss was so young.
And he was sick and it wasn't a shock.
Yeah.
She had time to process it. She had time to say goodbye and everything, whereas Trina didn't. Okay.
Right. And I mean, I just feel like in life, there is a difference between your first love at 14, 15 and your first love at 18, 19. Like they're just, one is puppy love and one you think is real love.
Right.
So,
true.
I mean, that's the only reason I think that they can't identify. I mean, there's similarities, but it's just not the same.
Right. Well, because then we saw Joss and Dex later on by themselves, where she admitted that she is learning to change when necessary, and she's starting to notice when other people change and when she also needs to change. I really like that they are maturing her. Thank goodness. Like, I really feel like the past few weeks have been really, really good. Joss, you know, it hasn't been the entitled brat that we were starting to see.
Right. And I'm glad that they're
we really were starting to see, like, I didn't like it.
She was awful for a while there. And I'm glad that we're seeing it like slowly progressing. It's not like they had them off camera for 6 months and then all of a sudden Joss is like, oh, I forgave him and now we're back together. And you didn't see like how they got there. He is trying to show her like, yes, you can have things in your past that you're not proud of, but you can move past those, and her starting to understand that as well.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that Carly's helping that process by announcing that I might go to jail. So.
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, she and Dex kiss and they admit that they're not going to rush into it. And I mean, to be fair, they rushed into their relationship.
Yes.
So it's nice. I like this. I like what we're seeing with them. I really like how they're fixing Joss. I'm just going to say it that they're fixing her because that was getting bad there for a little while. But then I think one of the last scenes we had was Gio overheard Trina singing.
Yes.
And They talked about their love of music, and she said that her favorite legend is Aretha, and he said that he can't see anyone giving her anything but respect. I thought that was cute. I really hope they don't make him a slime ball.
No, he can't be. I refuse.
Yeah, same. I don't think that there was anything else, though.
I don't think so. In your 7 pages of notes, I feel like we covered it all.
We would have had the same conversation. It's just more detailed in my notes. It's not like I sat here and read them to you.
True.
That would have been bad. I could just make an outline of nope. Okay. I'm going to stop right now.
No, you're good where you're at. Stop it.
I'm like, I should notate where these certain things are so that way I know exactly where to go to when I want to reference them. I'm going to make a table of contents for my notes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we don't need to do that anymore.
No.
All right.
Reality check.
So what's your reality check?
Jeez. So I love the 4th of July. Everyone, I think, knows that by now. We didn't do anything during the actual day because everyone was just kind of feeling lazy. We made some hot dogs and hamburgers just here for us and the kids and stuff. And then we went to see the fireworks, and it's normally just me and the kids, and that's how we do it, or Ryan or whatever. But it's my like household that goes. Mm-hmm. So this year, my sister, who has not gone out for fireworks in years and years and years, was like, oh, I will meet you there. And I had my niece. So my brother was like, oh, I'll meet you there too. And I'm like, all right. Aww. So they're harassing me. Like, fireworks start at 9:30, starting at like 8:30. They're harassing me. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm like, I will be there. Everyone knows I do not get anywhere early, but I will be there before the fireworks start, which is early to me. So calm down. So I'm driving there and I'm still getting these texts. Where are you? We're parked here. You're going to miss it. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm fine. So we pull into a parking spot. I see where they are. We get out of the car. The second the door shuts, it starts pouring down rain. Pouring.
Oh, that would have been the time that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they're like trying to run to their cars. And I'm like, no, we're running. The best place, in my opinion, to see the local fireworks is right in front of the movie theater. But there are like exit doors that have coverage over them and coverage over the signs that announce what's coming up or what's there. And so I'm running there as they're like going back to their cars. And so then everyone's like, are they not going to have them? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I think they'll still have them. I just don't know if they'll wait till the rain stops or not. But it wasn't cloudy. It was just raining. And so they put the fireworks off in the rain anyway. And so I was like, just loving. I love rain. I love fireworks. I made the joke that they were lucky that we were at a public place or else I might be laying there naked watching the fireworks.
Amanda.
Everyone can do the math from when my children were
I know. I did that math one time. I was like, well, what was, and I'm like, oh my, I even said it to you. I was like, oh, you really like fireworks, don't you?
So,
I mean, I love fireworks. When I see a sign for them and I'm like, oh, let's go see the fireworks. Yeah, but I am not laying in the rain naked watching fireworks level.
I mean, I wasn't because we were in a public place, but anyway, so my family was like teasing me about that. Even if I was at
home, I don't think I'm on that level.
My family was teasing me about that because they know I love fireworks also. And then my brother and sister were both like, we have not come out to see fireworks in years. And then we finally come out and it's pouring down rain. And I was like, I just want everyone to apologize for yelling at me because I told you I wasn't going to miss the fireworks. And we were here in plenty of time to see them. And they were amazing. So, and all the kids had fun, like, oh my gosh, we're soaked, but we're watching the fireworks. And so it was a fun time. And then I didn't have Emily at home for the past few days because she was at her grandma's house helping get ready for a family reunion. And then the 2 younger ones were with their dad camping. And so if you hear the dumb dog barking in the background, that's why, as Emily just got home. I apologize. He is angry that she is not dedicating her time to playing with him.
These animals.
Yes. Like, you are home. I see you. Play with me. And she's like, no, leave me alone. But yeah, it's been a nice chill week.
That's good.
Not for you though.
Well, no, I was going to say I'm like kind of the same. I mean, I've been able to focus. I have a really busy week coming up, and I think that's why I've been more I told you before we started, I haven't opened my laptop since Wednesday night, and I haven't had to. And not for anything other than just really not much is going on right now. On 4th of July, so my son had to work. On the 4th of July in the morning, we went kayaking and spent some time at the lake beach. And then he went to work. And so then myself, JD, and Erica spent the rest of the day in the pool just hanging out. And around, it must have been earlier because we watched, there were fireworks being set off somewhere that we were able to watch from the pool. And so we did that. And then I think it was probably about 20 minutes later is when the rain started, because we kept wanting to get out. But then it was, even though it was still hot out, it was that time where the pool is so much warmer than the air outside. And so like we would poke our heads up, we would bring our shoulders up, and then we're like, nope, we're just, and then there was thunder and rain. So we weren't sure if it was thunder actually, but because fireworks, but that was pretty cool, was being able to just float and watch. I guess I was on my way to naked. I was wearing a bathing suit. And then on Friday, we went to our local amusement park, which I don't think we've actually been to since like 2018, 19, maybe. We used to have season passes, but then it just, once the kids started working and once all that stuff, it was like, okay, well, we might not be able to coordinate enough to be able to actually go to get use out of them.
Right.
And so we just haven't had them. But then Erica hasn't been to an amusement park or to this amusement park specifically in a really long time. So it would have been 2018 because the last time I was there was with her. And that's when she was down here visiting. And that was fun. I can't really say that we might have gone in 2019, but I'm not sure. But we spent the day just riding roller coasters and eating potato patch fries. I know. And she's like, we need to figure out how to make those at home. I'm like, okay, if we have to.
I will be one of your taste testers if you need someone to come over and
when we make
taste them.
And then yesterday we just kind of, just did stuff around the house and then just kind of chilling today. And then next week's, it's all good stuff, but it's just going to be a busy, busy week. We had last Monday, we had 4 hours of assessments and evaluations and meetings for my daughter. So I was also kind of just mentally and emotionally exhausted after all of that. So they told me to block off 2 to 2.5 hours on Monday. We were at 3 when he's like, okay, we have 2 more sections to finish and I have an appointment in like 15 minutes. Can we reschedule the other part? And so we had the second part for about an hour on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. So, and then one of her coordinators had to come over and we had to update a bunch of stuff. So I'm sorry, probably closer to 6 hours So it was just, I know it doesn't sound like it should take a lot out of you. And I know that you understand this, but like it really, really does.
Exhausting.
And it's so, even though I have everything written down and I could basically just hand them a book and say, here you go. It's especially the evaluation that was the 2 days. I mean, we had to break down everything and it was a lot. But she did good. She stayed for most of it. She didn't have to participate, but she did stay for a good portion of it. She only had to leave and she asked for a break and she only had to leave, I think for maybe 10, 15 minutes, but it was talking about some of the more difficult things that have been going on lately that she's embarrassed about. Right. She's embarrassed about some of the things that have happened lately. So I was like, fine, you go take a break. I will share and we'll just go from there. So,
right.
So yeah, I think that's why the kayaking, beach, pool, Kennywood stuff wasn't stressful for me. Cause I'm like, well, I'm not doing that other stuff right now. So on Thursday, join us as we talk more about Lila. It's kind of her, the after death of Lila.
There's no fun way to say that.
There's not.
So have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.